Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kayla Kim Beck, and I'd like to introduce you to the rest of the team, Caroline Hubble, Hannah Hallowin, and Antonio Perez Cajina. Together, we work to create the beginnings of a consumer-facing multimedia platform design, original branding and identity, and design strategy. And today, we're honored to present to you the work that we've done for this incredible group, Menace Collective. Ramla Bila and Dominique Diadigo Cash are two passionate grassroots organizers, social activists, and writer storytellers. And together, they're working to positively impact social change in Minneapolis area communities and beyond through Menace Collective. In recent years, we've seen patterns like systemic racism and police brutality, which BIPOC and other members of marginalized communities have endured for decades. And after the events of this past year, America is experiencing a reckoning. Social media has played an instrumental role in helping expose these destructive patterns. However, these platforms often operate by amplifying content for shock value, leading to launching of personal attacks that perpetuate violence. When it comes to offering a space for constructive discussion and thoughtful analysis, these platforms fall flat. Often based on deliberately crafted stereotypes, BIPOC and other members of marginalized communities have been painted as the menace by dominant media and culture. These portrayals have served to reinforce negative attitudes, which ultimately influence how we interact with others in the world. And for some, it becomes a matter of life and death. To spark change, our clients envisioned Menace Collective's multimedia content platform would serve to amplify these often unheard and oppressed voices. From their perspectives and through creative storytelling in the form of articles, videos, podcasts, and a variety of engaging artworks, they would strive to fill information and perspective gaps around a spectrum of social issues. These narratives will challenge people to consider how a wide range of societal problems are systemically fueled, turning the dominant narrative of who wears the mask of the menace on its head. The platform will encourage constructive discussion and link people to local and relevant activist efforts that spark movement toward tangible change and collective liberation. Menace Collective members will serve as content curators, weaving together stories to bring the voice of Menace to the platform. Content creators, the writers, storytellers, and artists, the voice of Menace, will share their stories through creativity. Content consumers will be diverse residents of the greater Minneapolis area looking to consume critically engaging alternative local media from a variety of devices, environments, and access points. One of the most important questions we sought to find answers to in this project was, in an era when we're drowning in content, how do people find meaningful, impactful, and engaging media? What is it that speaks to people and moves them to put forth the effort to create social change? I'll pass it off to Antonio to speak about some of the approaches we took in finding these answers.
Thanks, Kayla. Prior to diving into research, we met with our client and learned that we would be tasked with providing the foundational designs for Menace's consumer platform. This would include conceptual branding and identity and the design of a provocative, engaging, and accessible user-facing platform. Through a series of interviews and surveys, we sought to discover what are some of the things that make content meaningful, important, and impactful for potential users. In interviews, one user said, seeing someone like us represented as the person telling the story means that that story matters to those people and that there's value in that identity within the story. In a word association activity, we assessed which styles and colors felt provocative, exciting, and inclusive to users, while ruling out styles that were uninviting or gave users a sense of fear. Part of Menace's platform goal was to be able to bring people together to impact social change. We found that 77.8% of the people we asked in a survey said they had gotten involved or helped lead social change in their communities as a result of something impactful that they read. Another user said, I think outreach is huge. People want to be a part of a community, but aren't quite sure how or where to start. Insights like these sparked the designer in us to look at specific ways we could help bridge the gap between reading about change and getting involved in making it. Through activities like card sorting and tree testing, we pulled raw content and concepts directly from the Menace Collective members and presented it to target users out in the community in order to determine how to best structure site content for intuitive navigation. I will now pass things over to Caroline, where she'll talk about some of the key features we ideated based on our research. Caroline?
Thank you, Antonio. Because we've been building this platform from the ground up, we utilized our key research findings to ideate features that would uniquely add value and differentiate this platform from its comparators. When choosing which features to design, we brought ourselves back to the question, what prompts people to take action in their communities and create positive social change? To answer this question, we set goals for this platform based on the needs we found in our research with potential users and the gaps in current media outlets we found through a competitive analysis. We found through research that our users have a difficult time finding out about their local communities, especially if they identify themselves as being part of a marginalized group that does not receive media attention. Because it's difficult for people to find a safe space online for discourse, we put an emphasis on creating the means for respectful engagement. A primary focus is to bring awareness to the voices of those who are marginalized because the media does not typically tell these stories from the perspectives of those being affected. As a platform that elevates diversity and inclusion, we took accessibility into account when creating our feature designs. With these goals and opportunities in mind, we designed the following features. In order to create a local source for alternative media, we included the ability to share content from Menace Collective to social media. We also added quick links to local group activism efforts such as petition signing and letter writing campaigns. To create on-site engagement within the community, we added commenting functionality to allow people to engage in discussion on each of the content pages. We created a code of conduct the user would agree to upon membership registration, and these discussions would be further moderated by the stakeholders. The goal for Menace Collective is to solicit content from a broader audience of people who aren't often heard. Research showed a desire for scannable formatting such as a summary at the beginning of the content, bulleted lists, images, and an audio narration of written content. We made accessibility considerations like providing narration for written pieces, transcriptions for videos and podcasts, accessible font sizes, and a WCAG AAA approved color palette. We designed Menace Collective in a responsive web format because our users view content on various devices. Now I'll toss it over to Hannah so she can walk you through a mobile and a web scenario of how users could be prompted to take action in their communities and create positive social change through interaction with these features.
Thanks, Caroline. Rommel is a content creator and has just posted an article about an African street art movement accompanied by a beautiful photo gallery on the Menace Collective site. She tags the article appropriately based on our team's research recommendations and shares it to Twitter for increased visibility. Alex is looking on Twitter and they see the article Rommel posted. They click on the link that brings them to the article on the Menace Collective site. The article is about the surge of African street art in Minneapolis and is accompanied by a gallery of beautiful and inspiring photos. As a creative themselves, Alex really appreciates the connection between art and political movements on the site. They click on one of the tags in the article to find more art and information on this topic. Alex becomes engaged in many topics on the site and reads several articles. They're able to quickly learn information throughout the site because research showed that readers like Alex want content to be engaging and scannable through devices such as the succinct summary at the beginning. One article that particularly impacts them is about police brutality. At the bottom of the article, they see an option to sign a petition demanding an end to qualified immunity. Calls to action such as this petition are housed on their own page on Menace Collective, but also included within the content pages if the call to action is related to the subject matter, like this petition. Alex signs the petition and shares it to Facebook in hopes of prompting friends to sign as well. The feature to share Menace Collective content is included because research showed that most users find content online from social media shares. By signing the petition and sharing it, Alex feels like they've found a new source that provides multiple resources to create positive change and is happy they can share this amongst friends. Charlotte is scrolling through her Facebook and sees that her friend Alex shared a petition about a local issue they signed through Menace Collective. She's curious who Menace Collective is, so she clicks on their profile and finds their website. She reads more about them and starts browsing the contributors. She finds Dominique's profile and sees that he has several podcast episodes. Charlotte loves podcasts. She navigates to the one she finds most interesting, begins to listen, and becomes really engaged with the content. Charlotte goes to leave a comment on the podcast and is prompted to create an account and agree to the code of conduct before doing so. Research shows that not all users are comfortable engaging in dialogue online, so the code of conduct comforts Charlotte so she knows she's in a safe space. Now she's able to leave comments and engage in discussion. In her comment, she mentions that she really appreciates the consideration of including a transcription along with the audio, as her partner is hearing impaired. Charlotte is excited to finally find a platform for roundtable discussion that emphasizes respectful engagement and contribution to conversations about difficult subjects in a safe space. And now I will pass it back to Antonio to wrap up our work with Menace Collective.
Thanks, Hannah. So when we started this project, in order to achieve our goal, creating a meaningful and engaging platform for our clients, we posed the question, what prompts people to take action in their communities and create positive social change? Throughout our research, we've seen that the content and the concepts that make up Menace Collective's vision are extremely relevant and engaging to folks in the community. Perhaps now more than ever, people want to get involved. Our research tells us by providing a safe space where folks can share personally resonant content to their circles on traditional social media, those friends are more likely to also get involved. Accessible features like the transcription and the code of conduct through creating an account will speak to users like Alex and Charlotte and tell them that this is a safe space where they're able to engage in meaningful discussion. Our hope is that as members of the Menace Collective community, perhaps one day, they too will contribute content to this platform. So we'd like to thank you all so much for being here today and for being a wonderful audience. Our team, once again, is Kayla Kim Beck, Caroline Hubble, Hannah Hellowen, and I'm Antonio Perez Cajina, and we'd like to give a special thanks to Cindy Elvendahl, who will be continuing important work on this project. Of course, we'd love to give a huge thanks to Ramla Bila and Dominique Diadio Cash for giving us the opportunity to work on such a meaningful and important project. We can't wait to see what's in store for their future. Continue to follow Ramla and Dominique to stay informed about updates to Menace Collective. Thank you.